Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Thursday, March 26th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith with you, and Matty Robinson right alongside as well. Here he is. There we go. Matt Robinson as well, ready to break down the Thursday NHL card. We've got a huge slate as usual on Thursday. It is a great sports day. I know there's some people in our chat already mentioning it, and yes, It is a great Thursday. You've got, well, obviously for our purposes, a great NHL card, another night littered with very important games and playoff implications all over the place. But you've got MLB opening day. I call today opening day, not that ridiculous disgrace that was a standalone game that half the country can't see last night on Netflix with the Yankees and Giants. This is the real opening day for Major League Baseball here today. And, of course, you got the Sweet 16 going on in the NCAA tournament. Taking place tonight as the college basketball March Madness continues. And don't sleep on the college hockey tournament either. That starts today. We got the regional semifinals with the college hockey as well. So it is a great sports day, no question. And NHL for sure. We've had a really good few days where we've had entertaining games, compelling games, and these races are just so tight. It leads to some pretty entertaining hockey. We'll just quickly get through the recap because there was only 2 games last night. Not too shabby for a 2-game card from a betting standpoint. Holy shit. We did pretty good. I think we cleaned up all right with just 2 games on the board last night. A unique choice for best bet came through. We went with both teams to score. First period, Boston and Buffalo at plus 162. I really liked it. It made a lot of sense to me. Bruins, after the loss to the Leafs, coming out, looking to get on the board early. They did. In fact, they got the first goal in that game, and Buffalo responded with a power play goal later in the period, and bang, there you go. Plus 162 are both teams to score first period. Bruins Sabres best bet comes through. We had a smaller piece of the first period over in that game as well. That came through. But Boston, give them credit. Handing the Buffalo Sabres a rare loss, 4-3 in overtime. Pavel Zacha getting the overtime winner. For Buffalo, look, I warned everybody, it was not the greatest spot for them last night. Coming off the West Coast, it was a pretty good road trip. What do they collect? 7 out of 8 points on that 4-game road trip out west. And then to come home, that first game, you can be a little sluggish. And it was. I mean, if you watch that game, Buffalo was not to the level we've seen from them quite a bit over the last month. But give credit to Boston. It was a great response after a bad loss. And it was bad loss to Toronto. And they were able to bounce back last night, get a big 2 points there. And then in the other game, playing for exercise, as I like to say, I know Alex says that a lot too, Rangers and Leafs, that's pretty much what it was. We did get in on over 6 in that game. That came through. That cashed in a 4-3 Leaf victory last night over the New York Rangers. Really, it was one of those games where the Leafs actually went back to their old ways of getting heavily outshot and outplayed. But once again, Joseph Woll was tremendous last night in net for the Leafs, leading them to victory. And at least they put on a good show for the home fans and the Toronto Blue Jay players that were in attendance. There was a slew of Blue Jays in attendance for that game last night, especially George Springer and Ernie Clement, who are big hockey fans. And they were in attendance for that Leaf game last night. I guess they're winning, at least for one night, the Blue Jays, that is, and the players being there rubbed off on the Leafs, at least, for one night last night, getting that 4-3 win. And, of course, a bargain bin special winner as well. Another one, we had Alex's Simon Holmstrom on Tuesday night with the bargain bin special, and we're just looking to at least hit one from anybody that appears on the show. And last night it was Zach Benson for the Buffalo Sabres at plus 550. Great to be able to cash that and put another bargain bin special of the night winner on the board. Alex, your thoughts on Wednesday?
Yeah, like I said, short card, not really. It wasn't a whole lot that I liked. The only thing I really had was Peyton Krebs as my bargain bin, and he had some chances, and that's for Boston, that's a good win. For Buffalo, it's not a terrible loss. You're still earning a point, and that's the key for the Sabres at this point. Get a point every night down the stretch and try and close out this division, try and close out home ice. That's your biggest goal. So if you're, a team like Boston, they needed the 2 points. but Buffalo needed at least one, and you'll have spots that work out like that. That's why we talk about draw season. There's a few little spots tonight where there are teams that need points, but that second point is more important to one team as opposed to the other. And oftentimes you can see those results kind of pop up like that. So that was the case there in that game. Like I said, Toronto, I'm sure everybody there is, happy that it's Blue Jay season because Maple Leaf season's just about done. There's a lot of cities where it's going to be flipping over more for baseball than it is hockey, obviously, with their teams kind of winding down. But like you said, playing for exercise, there's still some great chances to get those overs. There's still great chances to find, like we talk about guys who are getting called up. Getting chances, getting looks as college season's in, guys getting plugged into the lineup, and there's some chances for some, point totals, some goal totals. There's a couple things that I like in that aspect tonight too. So, great card tonight. Like I said, a lot, quite a few spots that I actually like on a big Thursday. So, just looking forward to breaking it down with you guys.
All right, no doubt. Matt, anything you want to add about Wednesday night?
Not too much on my end. I did watch a lot of that Bruins-Buffalo game. Obviously, nice to see Buffalo come back in the third. It was an exciting game. That shorthanded goal was pretty sick. But as far as betting goes, I had both games at 5.5 parlayed together. I was like plus 110, plus 120, I think. So I just had one bet for the night, and both games going 4-3. And I was happy and in the green. So looking forward to tonight's card. You mentioned big NHL day, big Sweet 16 day. As a Arkansas alum, big Arkansas Arizona game. They're a big dog, but it's March Madness. Anyone can win. So we'll see. We'll see how tonight's basketball games go, and then college hockey's on. I'm looking forward to catching those, seeing who ends up in the Frozen Four. My college roommate's little brother's on Michigan this year. He actually left the USHL over Christmas and's been on Michigan since January. So we agreed if Michigan ends up winning their region, which that game won't be until Sunday, if they get through Bentley and then either Duluth or Penn State. But if they do advance, we're going to both go to the Frozen Four in Vegas in a couple weeks. So I will definitely be keeping my eye on that game. And Michigan's puck line -2.5 plus 100 over Bentley is a bet that I'm already on for anyone that wants to bet on college hockey.
Like I said, number one team in the nation for a reason, so it may not be able to find the most value betting them through, but certainly in good shape to possibly make it.
Yeah, you don't trust Bentley. Yeah, you don't trust Bentley there in that game. Merrimack is a team that was red hot, but they've got a tough first game too, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be interesting. We did, yeah. Now look, Matt had audio issues Tuesday on the show, but it wasn't it was much worse on Tuesday than it was right there. I could hear him right there, but it was still a little. I don't know why it is. It's fucking StreamYard. It's not Matt. It's StreamYard. It is weird, but you know what? It was good enough this time, Matt. Like it was a little garbled, but you could hear you. It was way better than it was. Like Tuesday, we couldn't even make out what you were saying when you were on the show. So, but this is definitely, like I said, you said he can swap mics. So, but it has been a little bit better here so far today. But yeah, there we go. Alex, what are you reacting to? What's going on there? Yeah.
All right, Chase, my draw, leadoff home run. Can't ask for a better start to the season than that. White Sox.
Oh, no shit for the White. That's right. The White Sox have just started. That's right. 2 o'clock Eastern. Wow, against Mizorowski. The White Sox, I keep saying they're going to be at least a little bit better. I think
a little bit
this year. A little bit. Like how much I don't know, but I did. I took a small piece. I think their win total was 66 and a half, something along those lines. So, like I said, definitely
great start to season.
Yeah, there you go. Leadoff homer there for the White Sox. Huh?
Be better.
It's about the same, but that's okay. It's better than Tuesday. Tuesday we couldn't even, I know I'm puzzled too. It's not. It's good enough we can still hear you though. Like it was really bad on Tuesday. I don't know why it's not fixed and not all the way better, but it is a little better to the point where we can move on and keep going with Matt here. In spite of it, we'll figure it out at some point. It's a StreamYard issue clearly because you said you've had no problem using that headset and the audio with other things. So anyway, we'll figure it out. In the meantime, let's get moving and get on with it here as far as the Thursday card is concerned. We've got Seattle and Tampa Bay. It is Tampa Bay -280 home favorites, 6 the total here in this one. I definitely like over in this game. Tampa Bay's on a big-time over streak entering this game, and it's really because, look, their offense has been clicking without question. They've been scoring goals during this run. We saw it against Minnesota once again in their last game, getting a come-from-behind victory against the Wild. It's now 5 straight Lightning games that have gone over the total, scoring 5 or more in 4 of the 5 games, 3+ in all 5. So definitely this is a team that's got it going a little bit on the offensive side of things. And I can't say the same about the Seattle Kraken defensively lately. During this 4-game losing streak, which has really put them in a tougher spot as far as making the playoffs, they now have a lot of ground to make up, and the games remaining, of course, getting slimmer and slimmer. They've given up 5 or more to the opponent in 3 of their last 4 games, including giving up 6 goals to this very Tampa Bay Lightning team when they played north in the Northwest at Climate Pledge in a 6-2 Tampa win. That game was just 9 days ago. So it is a Seattle revenge spot, as you could say, but Seattle has frustrated me, as I've talked about many times on this show. The Florida game, that's 2 points you got to get, in my mind, against a banged-up Panthers team, and you were down 4-1 in the third. Now, somehow you miraculously salvaged a point in that game, coming back with 3 unanswered goals to tie it at 4, but lost 5-4 in a shootout. But yeah, I don't trust Seattle. It's really that simple. Tampa Bay, that was a gutsy win for Tampa because it was not the greatest spot, right? They're off the western trip out west in Canada, where they played Seattle first, and then they went to Western Canada with Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary. That was the first home game, and they still found a way to get the job done. So for me, it's over 6 here in this game, and I'll probably sprinkle on a first period over, but wait for the price to get a little bit better on that. Alex, anything you like here? Seattle, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I did grab a first period over -130 earlier this morning, but now that that's moved, I would suggest waiting for the over by factor in game. This is technically a draw season spot. East versus West teams needing points, but I can't get to there with this kind of a giant favorite. And the fact that we're near a -300 favorite, I still couldn't take a shot with Seattle scoring first necessarily. This isn't one where it's both teams to score or back in Seattle. I think this could be mostly Tampa Bay in the spot, but I do like goals. So over by factor will be something that I have in pocket, but more than likely going to be attacking everything live.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, look, it is East versus West. We got an opportunity maybe for the draw.
I think Seattle's done though. Like Seattle and San Jose are 2 teams where I had, and especially San Jose, like I really had a lot of faith in that team making a push potentially. But I think the youth and inexperience for San Jose has pushed them out. And I think with the Seattle, they just they are who we thought they were. They were a middling team, and the losing streak is catching up with them now.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Sharks. I'm with you on the Kraken as far as they look like they're fading. They're falling out of it. And I don't know if there's a thing that they can do to stop the bleeding. And it's not going to get any easier, obviously, for the Kraken here tonight against the Lightning. So I do like over. I'll add the first period over probably in game. A couple props that I want to mention too quickly here is Pontus Holmberg and Darren Radish for Tampa Bay. They've both scored in back-to-back games, and you're getting Holmberg at almost +600 and Radish at +370. So you're getting some great prices there with a couple of Lightning players that have been in good form of late. Sorelli, we've talked about, still getting a pretty good price with him. I think if I were to look at anyone for Seattle, it'd be Bobby McMann, of course. He did score one of their 4 goals, I should say, against the Florida Panthers. Didn't feel like they scored 4 goals because they played like shit for most of that game, but somehow they did score 4 goals against Florida. Bobby McMann scored one of them, and he's been great since arriving in Seattle. So +325 with Bobby McMann, probably worth a look. Okay, Maddie, you're back. Let's hear it. Let's hear you. How do you sound?
Is that any better?
Oh, it's great.
Oh, fantastic.
We're back.
Yeah, it must be something with StreamYard and my work computer, which has usually been fine, but I'm probably due for a new laptop anyway. But for Seattle, Tampa Bay, I've got 3 plays on this game. I like the over by fecta. It's not a same game parlay candidate per se. I do have a few of those on the card tonight, as well as a couple passes, just given the amount of games going. But I like first period over, full game over, and then I'm going to take a shot with Tampa Bay on the puck line -1.5, -115 is what I got in at this morning.
All right, Columbus and Montreal. This is a huge game, obviously. This is the games we love at this time of year. Two teams battling, two teams needing the points, going head-to-head. Montreal minus 120, home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. Rick Bowness, what a job he has done. A big win against Philadelphia, bouncing back from a tough loss against the Islanders where they played well enough to win. It was a Sorokin. It was a really good Sorokin game that night. But I thought they had every opportunity to win that game. I thought they carried the play against the Islanders as it went on, but they bounced back and they beat the Flyers on Tuesday night. And now here they are, passing both the Penguins and the Islanders, and you're looking at your second place in the Metropolitan Division, Columbus Blue Jackets, right now. From where they were, dead last, bringing up the rear in not only the Metro, but the Eastern Conference before Rick Bowness was hired and Dean Evison was let go. It's just amazing to see that they've made up this kind of ground in such a short period of time. I sure as hell ain't betting against them. That much I know. I like them against Philly. I did take them against Philadelphia here in this game, but I haven't made up my mind if I'm going to take them here because I respect what Montreal's done here at home. They've played good hockey here at Bell Center of late. It was a great win for them against Carolina. In fact, the last 2 home games, very impressive. 3 straight home wins for Montreal, going back to the Boston win in overtime. Then they crushed the Islanders 7-3 and beat Carolina 5-2. So the Canadiens all of a sudden playing some real good hockey here on home ice and scoring goals again at home. 3+ goals for the Canadiens in 4 straight home games for them. So good test for Columbus, who've been playing better defensive hockey since Bowness arrived on the scene. And Jet Greaves in net once again for the Jackets, who has been playing well of late. Jakub Dobiš, I think you can say he's been playing well of late for the Canadiens. He was outstanding against Carolina when we were on the Betcast Tuesday night. I mean, Carolina had over 40 shots. Jakub Dobiš, one of his better games. This is a game where I think both teams come out with energy early. You've got Columbus out, a bit of a cagey affair against Philly. Montreal, in spite of these games being big, where you think defense takes over, games are low scoring. We've seen Montreal with 2 straight overs at home. I think this could be a game where you get a frenetic start, maybe a couple of goals early, and then maybe it slows down later in the game. We have seen that with the Columbus Blue Jackets, especially. This feels kind of like maybe the Seattle game for them over the weekend, where we did see in the first period some goals, then it kind of settled down after that. I'm going to take a shot with both teams to score first period in this game with Columbus and Montreal. Not the full game over. I think it could slow down after that. I think this is a decent first period, both teams to score spot. It's worth a shot. I don't like it as much as the Sabre game last night, but I think there's a plausible possibility here that we could see both teams potting one in the opening 20 minutes of this game. So that's my favorite look in this game. Lean Columbus, haven't bet it yet. Alex, what do you think? Blue Jackets, Habs.
This screams draw. 2 of the last 3 meetings have gone past regulation. Like I said, both teams are in good form. Both teams have their own races in hand, even though they're in the Eastern Conference. But Columbus, focused on, getting their spot solidified in that second place in the Metro, getting home ice. Montreal trying to, stay within that Atlantic tiered region. So at plus 340 at Caesars is the best price available. Definitely grab the draw with those.
3 straight overs in the series, I will say that, between Montreal and Columbus. So maybe at 5.5 live, I'll jump in on an over, but I don't feel great about it at 6.5. I will add that draw. You're right. That draw is worth a look. I'm seeing it now with the series history. You're right. 2 of the last 3 of the last 7 have gone past regulation. Columbus, 4 of the last 10 games for them have gone past regulation. So, yeah, there's definitely some potential here for overtime or a shootout. Matt, what do you think here in this big-time matchup tonight on the card, Columbus-Montreal?
Yeah, this is a good candidate for me for same-game parlay. I agree. I think 6.5 is a little juicy. I could see a quick start and then a little bit of a slowdown, but I think we do get to 6 here. So I'm going to take first period and full game over 5.5 parlayed together in this one. Yeah, it should be a good game to tune into. 2 teams that need points. So I could definitely side with the draw here. I know it's pretty rare for me to jump on draws, but I do have another draw on the card that I do like. But I could definitely consider taking a couple bucks on this draw as well, because I think if it does, if we get a 2-2, 3-3 in the third, I think you see both teams play pretty conservative to ensure they get 1 point and then battle 3-on-3 or in the breakaway competition to see if you can get that last point. But yeah, I think my bigger play here is going to be the same game parlay. I think we get to 6 goals.
All right, like in the little Matty Rob special here in this one, Blue Jackets and Habs first period over 1.5, full game over 5.5. Parlay in this one for Matt. All right, Uri Slafkovsky, 3 straight games with a goal. Can't argue with taking him to get a goal. Cole Caulfield, of course, who's finding out that it doesn't have to be just Mr. Saturday night. It can be Mr. Tuesday night, Mr. Thursday night, Mr. Monday night. It can be any night of the week he wants when he turns it on. And he has scored now in back-to-back games for the Montreal Canadiens. So, the price ain't great, plus 145, but obviously you're talking about someone that's been red hot and been finding the back of the net. Matthew Olivier's worth a shot, plus 510 for Columbus. He scored in the last game for them against the Flyers, and he scored in 3 of the last 5 games for this Columbus Blue Jackets team. So I think Olivier's a really good goal prop tonight. One of my favorites, in fact. Mason Marchment scored last game, got the donkey hat as well after that win. Yeah, that's the tradition with the Blue Jackets after they win a hockey game. Plus 280 is the price you're getting there. So that's probably a prop that I'm looking at here as far as this game. All right, Pittsburgh, Ottawa. Ottawa minus 150, home favorite, 6 the total here in this one. I don't normally, in price range like this, I always say minus 150 is my cutoff. But even with that being the case, I don't often like to lay minus 135 or minus 140 very often. But I did here in this game. I laid minus 140 with Ottawa. You can still find it at minus 140, 45 in a lot of spots. I'm seeing minus 145 at Caesars. And a couple other spots. So shop around. You can still get it below minus 150. But yeah, I'm on Ottawa. I just think they're a much, much, much better defensive team right now than the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't think we're splitting the atom, figuring that one out. They've obviously been really dumbing it down here defensively. Allmark, has been solid during this run. Pittsburgh's been a disaster in their own zone defensively for several games. The wins they've gotten have been track meet wins, 5-4, 6-5, where they have to put 5 or 6 goals on the board just to win the game. Meanwhile, you got Skinner in net for Pittsburgh. The goalies are interchangeable right now. Nothing will change defensively for the Penguins unless the structure gets better, right? And Shelovs and Skinner both have proven they're not good enough to rise above the an unsettling tide of defensitive struggles right now for this Penguins team. So they continue to give up goals. It continues to be a problem. Now, to make matters worse, Evgeny Malkin is going to be out for this game. And there was thought initially, and some reporters have had to backtrack on this. There was initially reports yesterday Anthony Mantha wasn't going to play here tonight for the Pittsburgh Penguins, but Mantha's in. Mantha will play here in this game tonight for the Penguins. So at least they'll have him. He's been a nice source of offense for them lately, but this Ottawa team's playing with purpose, playing like a team on a mission right now to make the playoffs. They're finally in a spot with that gutsy win against Detroit on Tuesday night. Down defenseman, still found a way to win in that one. And look, tonight they're still very banged up on the blue line here. Shabbat, Gilbert, Sanderson. They were hoping to get Sanderson back. Not the case. He's still out. Lassie Thompson out. Nick Jensen on IR. But I still think Ottawa can dig deep and get it done, minus 150. Now, normally with Ottawa, I'm scared to bet overs right now because they've been not giving up a ton of shots, playing very well defensively, and that sometimes can lead to lower scoring hockey, and I think that's what Travis Green wants to do. But Pittsburgh's still got firepower, and this is still an Ottawa team playing without how many blue liners right now? 5 or 6? I think they could struggle a little bit at least with this Penguins team tonight, and I think Ottawa can score on Pittsburgh. Why? Because everybody fucking scores on Pittsburgh right now. Why should that change tonight? So I am still going to ride the Pittsburgh over train tonight, which is 9-1 to the over for the Penguins in their last 10 games. So Pittsburgh, Ottawa over 6 as well for me, in addition to that Ottawa money line. And I probably will split Ottawa money line with Ottawa team total over. I probably should do that because the reasoning to me is also that they're going to score tonight, Ottawa, against this struggling, really, really struggling Pittsburgh Penguin blue line. What do you think here in this one, Alex? Pittsburgh and Ottawa.
Pre-game, I like the draw. I grabbed plus 325 this morning, and I also like Ottawa to win in overtime or shootout. Plus 600 over at FanDuel is where I got that prop as usual in the game specials area. In game, I want to wait for this one to drop to 5.5. Like I said, that over trend with Pittsburgh has been solid, and I think Pittsburgh's going to show some fight here. I know this is, like I said, there's a really banged up team, but I feel like this is a game where they can at least try and hang around, keep things close. Both teams needing points. So this has that draw season feel to it. So draw, but Ottawa getting the win in overtime or shootout plus 600, which is a great price for that. And then in game, we'll try and look for that 6 to drop down to a 5.5.
Yeah, I initially was not going to take the over, and I was going to jump off riding the Pittsburgh overs in this game tonight. But then I thought about it more. I'm like, Ottawa can probably score on them because everyone's scoring on Pittsburgh right now. They're just that porous defensively right now. But at the same time, this is 5 defensemen missing for Ottawa. That could open and I know they gutted it out and played pretty admirably defensively against Detroit. But Detroit is kind of scuffling and kind of gagging right now is the word that comes to mind. Pittsburgh still got some weapons, still got some ability to put the puck in the net. And they're asking a lot right now of Tyler Klevin, Artem Zub, Nick Montempalo, Jordan Spence. They're playing those guys way more minutes than they're accustomed to. And then they're trying to integrate Jorian Donovan and Carter Yakimchuk. Although shout out to Carter Yakimchuk, who got his got a goal in his call up to the Ottawa Senators in that big win against the Detroit Red Wings the other night. So you love to see that if you're Travis Green. We're desperate. We got an emergency scenario with our blue line, and we call up this kid Yakimchuk, and he scores in his first game. You have no idea what that does to a bench and what that does to the team. Just gives you a huge lift, no question. Matt, what do you think here, Pittsburgh, Ottawa?
Yeah, I jumped on the full game over at 6 on this one. I definitely lean Ottawa. I think they get it done, but minus 150 is a little juicy for my blood. So, and again, with a big card like this, like if tonight was a 3-game card, then I might jump on Ottawa minus 150, but there's a lot of looks I like better than that. But I will be on the full game over. I think we see some goals both ways in this one.
Yeah, no question. It's one of these deals here where, like I said, when you look at this this game, it's I feel Pittsburgh can find the back of the net. It's not easy with what we're seeing right now from Allmark, and they're still trying to play that tight structure, even with the injuries against Detroit, and it worked out, winning 3-2. And I think they're trying to win low-scoring games, but they're going to be tested, I think, by Pittsburgh, who've been able to score. But they will get theirs on Pittsburgh offensively, this Ottawa team tonight. Shinnikov, yes, 3 straight games with a goal for him. No argument with looking at goal prop there. If you want to ride the wave with Yakimchuk, thinking that he could score another from the back end, plus 650 is the price for him to score here tonight in this game for the Ottawa Senators. I continue to look at Ridley Gregg, Parlay Pinto starting to heat up for the Ottawa Senators as well. I think I'd maybe give another whirl with the Fogue Daddy here, Warren Fogle. And Erik Karlsson, yes. Erik Karlsson, this is a good night to take a shot with Erik Karlsson, former Senator back in Ottawa. He has been picking it up with goal scoring lately. Didn't score last game, but still 3 of the last 5 games, he's put the puck in the net for the Pittsburgh Penguins from the blue line, and you're getting a healthy almost plus 600 with Erik Karlsson for the Pittsburgh Penguins to find the back of the net in this game. All right, Matty Rob's team next up, the Dallas Stars taking on the New York Islanders. We've got Dallas minus 125, road favorites in Elmont, New York. The total here sitting at 5.5, shaded to the over here in this game. Both of these teams off bad losses. That's basically what they are. I mean, you can't be losing, especially the Islanders. That's the worst loss. Dallas is playing right now to get the regular season over with. I'm not going to crucify them as much for losing to the New Jersey Devils. And New Jersey can score right now as well. Their offense has been good. Defense, not so much, but they can score goals. Jack Hughes has been great since the Olympic break. Jesper Bratt's been on a roll. And Dallas is not, I think, inspired nightly to go balls to the wall with where they're at in the standings. They're not catching Colorado. They're probably not going to get passed from behind by the Minnesota Wild. They're pretty much in that situation where it's second in the Central, most likely for them. You're not going to wear yourself out down the stretch here and have the utmost intensity night in and night out, especially when you're playing a lesser light. So I'm going to forgive Dallas a little bit for the bad game and the loss against New Jersey. The Islander loss is terrible. I'm much harsher on them. That's Chicago with Arvid Soderblom in net. They didn't even put Knight in that game, and you're down, what was it, 3-1 after the first period? It's a brutal loss for Patrick Waugh's team. And they tried to make a comeback, valiant effort to try to get back, but fell short, 4-3, but couldn't tie it late, and they lose 4-3 to the Blackhawks in that game. So we'll see if the Islanders can bounce back. Dallas will obviously be looking to play better as well. Give me the draw. That's the only thing. I mean, I don't really love either side in this game, but the draw makes a ton of sense. Every point is valuable to Dallas right now as they just try to solidify second in the Central. And every point for the New York Islanders is massive as they try to get back into a playoff position. That's how costly the Chicago loss was. It knocked them out of a playoff position for the first time in quite a while. So now they enter this game on the outside looking in. So this is a classic late season East versus West draw spot. So I like the draw here. I think the over might get there here. It's only 5.5. I think we might be able to see this one get over the total. It's a lukewarm opinion for me with that, but definitely love this draw. Alex, Stars Islanders.
Right there with you. I mean, we're talking about Islanders. We're talking about Dallas, a team that has gone to overtime quite a lot since the end of the Olympic break. And these are just two teams, like I said, needing the points desperately. If this is a game where if it's tied 10 minutes left in the third, maybe take a shot, like I said, with that no goal in regulation down the stretch to a little, add a little profit. But this one should definitely take longer than 60 to decide a winner.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, 3 of the last 6 meetings have gone to overtime. 5 of the 6 decided by 1 goal. Yep, that's exactly what I noticed. Lots of close games, lots of 1-goal decisions in recent seasons with the Stars and the Islanders head-to-head. So it makes a ton of sense here to look toward a draw here in this one. I'm looking at the over-under series history. It's actually been 6 unders and 4 overs in the last 10 meetings between these two teams. That being said, the last time they played here in this building, it was last year, and it was a 4-3 Dallas victory. So it did go over the total. So I am going to sprinkle on the over. Do I love it? No. But at 5.5, count me in. Maddie, what do you think here as your Stars look to bounce back against the Islanders, looking to do the same?
Yeah, this should be an interesting game. Pretty on par with you. New Jersey is a fast-scoring team. I mean, you can't give them 4 goals in the first. That was the brutal portion of that game. Dallas actually sort of dominated the last 2 periods, but, when you're down 3, you're having
one thing I want to mention, Matt, before you continue, both coaches, Patrick Waugh and Glenn Gulletson, lamented terrible defensive efforts in the first period of the last game in both of their losses. So interesting that both of them felt the same way about the way their team played, especially early in the opening period.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt. And I think that was clear. I mean, it was, Ottinger gave up 3 goals on his first 3 shots. Were any of them really bad goals? Not necessarily, but you got to mix in a save sometimes, get the team rolling. But I mean, they responded well, and to your point, they're in a position, the Avs dream, or the passing of the Avs was there for a minute. There was a few day span where it looked like it was very possible. I think they were 3 points back. It's looking like they're pretty cemented into second. So I mean, you look at last year, they went to the Western Conference Finals. They ended the season 2-7 in their last 9 games. It was horrific hockey. My brother was on edge going into the playoffs. They were going to get swept, but obviously they are able to flip the switch, and they are a veteran group that's been there. So I think they know what they need to do. And, this skid is not, oh, great, they should just mail it in and get ready for the drafts. Like, not at all. But it also, from a betting perspective, I don't feel great about them. Currently, I think they'll get some juice back. I think Rantanen is hoping to be put in the lineup in one of the games this weekend. They play Saturday and Sunday. So I think that'll give the team a jolt, give the power play a jolt. As far as this game goes, especially because of the Islanders game, last game, I'm definitely on the first period over. I think both teams want a good start here. I think we see 2 goals in the first, no problem. And I'm going to actually put a little sprinkle on the New York Islanders money line in this one. I think they'd need the points more.
Take that, all you people that say that he's only betting Dallas Stars all the time. There
Yeah.
you go.
And
Can't say that anymore.
what's funny is, if I will take the Islanders money line at plus 105, if Dallas goes down 2-0 in the first, I may flip the coin and take Dallas if it's like plus 250. Guarantee profit and just, put a sprinkle there, maybe a half of what I put on the Islanders. But because they are a team that comes from behind, but I just think they don't need these points. I think I think the Islanders will be in more of a desperation mode. Do I think the Stars on paper are a better team? Probably. Can they win this game? Yes. But you're going to give me plus money on an Islanders team at home that's desperate. They've had the Rantanen situation last time these teams played. They want to, they're not going to have the opportunity to, try and get him to answer the bell. But, I know that they would feel good kicking the Stars' ass tonight. So I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think this will be a 6-1 Islanders win or anything like that. But I do think the Islanders have added motivation. So I will take a sprinkle there. As far as props go, it was mentioned in the chat, Robo has 5 of the 9 goals against, I forget who's even starting tonight.
Sorokin.
Yes, Sorokin. So of the whole Stars roster, Robo has 5 of the 9 goals that have been scored on Sorokin. He's 1 goal from 40. It's not, a big, juicy anytime goal, but I will be on his goal props. I think he's going to get, 10 shots tonight trying to score. If he scores on his first shot, then maybe he'll move it around a bit. That was their only good line against the Devils. And then there is another prop on this game that I'll mention at the end of the show.
Right, good stuff. A couple props for me as well. Bork still on the top line, I believe, with Wyatt and Jason Robertson. Robo, yes. You've mentioned Sam Steele before. I probably might sprinkle with Sam Steele. And for the Islanders, give me Anders Lee and give me Emil Heineman on the top line with Horvat. Like the value with both of them. And I know Alex had Holmstrom the other night for the New York Islanders. Maybe consider a little look toward him once again down on that third line here for the Islanders as far as goal props here in this one. Yeah, 12-3 is a home dog for the New York Islanders this season. So if you want to ride that angle, it says bet the Islanders here. They are indeed a home dog here in this one tonight. All right, Chicago, Philadelphia. We've got the Flyers minus 160, home favorites, 5.5 the total here in this game. I would expect, obviously, with Chicago that we're going to see Spencer Knight in between the pipes for them. We saw Soderblom in the 4-3 win against the Islanders, and we criticized Soderblom a lot, but we got to give him his kudos when it's warranted, and he played well. I mean, what are you going to say? He's faced 47 shots there in that game against the Islanders, and he played well. But that's the problem with Soderblom. You'll get that one every 5 or 6 starts, and then the rest of them will be, mediocre at best and a lot of times below average. That's basically what you've come to expect from him. One thing I will say about this Blackhawks team, other than when they got skunked in a brutal spot against Vegas, and I still remember Alex being all over that game, saying at Vegas a few weeks ago, down 4-0, that they were going to be, it was going to be a no-show, clunker, lay an egg spot for Chicago against Vegas. But if you take that out, they had 3 straight games that went to overtime against good teams, Dallas and Utah. They took Minnesota to overtime. They beat Minnesota in regulation. They had a tough night against Colorado, but Colorado was pissed, right? When they played Colorado had lost a couple games in a row. But then they took Nashville to overtime, and look what they did. They beat the Islanders the other night. So this team's competing for the most part on a nightly basis, Chicago. And now with the infusion here of Anton Frondel and a little bit of young exuberance here and energy, I expect the Blackhawks to play hard again tonight against the Flyers. They're not going to make it easy here on this Philadelphia Flyers team tonight. I think we're going to see a Knight-Vladar matchup. I lean to the under, actually, tonight in this game a little bit. Now it's 5.5, but certainly if Philly's playing low and slow right now, the Rick Tocchet way with these games. Now, they have a lot of work to do now, Philadelphia, to make the playoffs. And by the way, they're 6-1 to the under, Philadelphia, in their last 7 games. So I do lean to the under a little bit here, but I got to bet this draw. Absolutely have to. Here in this game. I think Chicago's still competing, still giving a good effort most nights. I just fell short with the Blackhawks Islanders draw the other night. Philly's played a lot of 1-goal games. Both of these teams have been draw magnets. Chicago, 5 of the last 9 have gone past regulation, and Philadelphia, 5 of the last 9 as well for them have gone past regulation. So, yeah, this draw is one that makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. Alex, what do you think here? Blackhawks, Flyers.
Yeah, grabbed a great price on that draw too at BetOnline plus 330. Still around. Like so, these are two teams where Philly had dominated this series at home going back into literally the mid 1990s, and now we've seen Chicago actually get some wins in Philly over the last couple of years. Like I said, they've been playing tough. This is definitely a spot where I could see them. Like I said, you got the young kids in. Boisvert making his debut, as well as Frondell back in the lineup. Spencer Knight is confirmed in net, so I think this is going to be a more spirited Hawks kind of an effort. And like I said, Philly's kind of hanging on, needing the points. I do like Philly to win this game if it goes past regulation, so I grabbed them plus 500 overtime or shootout win over at FanDuel, and I have a couple of players that I'll be talking about later.
No doubt. And, like I said, 18 years old. And keep in mind, he was playing in a men's league, a professional league overseas in Sweden. For a young kid at 18, that's pretty damn impressive. And I thought he didn't look out of place. He looked solid first game. Didn't look frightened. Didn't look like the stage was too big for him, too bright for him. And you're getting minus and I don't bet many point props, but I'm going to look at minus 110 plus 100 out there right now with Frondell point tonight. Against the Philadelphia Flyers. Why not? He got his first NHL point in an assist in the game against the Islanders. So going to look toward that for a prop here. And the one prop that I do like a lot for Philadelphia, the guy getting that bump up the lineup, and I'm talking about Alex Bump for the Philadelphia Flyers. Looks like he'll be alongside Dvorak and Konechny on the top line for Philadelphia tonight. So definitely some value there with Alex Bump. Matt's going to run in about 10 minutes. So what we'll do is we'll get his thoughts on this game, and we'll run through rapid fire the rest of the card with him, and then bargain bin and best bet from him as well. Matt, what do you think here, Chicago, Philly?
Yeah, this is actually a pass game for me. I do kind of like the draw here, and I do agree. I think, of the quote unquote teams that are eliminated, I think the Hawks are a team that is still playing with some guts. They still, show that they want to win games. They're happy, maybe not happy. Happy is not the right word. They're happy to sort of ruin other people's seasons at this point. They know they're not going to be playing into May, but that, especially against some of these East teams, they're all kind of tight there. So if anything, I might throw a sprinkle here on the Blackhawks just to ruin someone else's day. I feel like they're a team that, has that grit to kind of make it happen. You got young guys in the lineup. You've got guys trying to earn contracts next year. You look at a team like, and I'm drawing a blank, maybe a Toronto where you've got a lot more veteran presence and, guys are on 8-year deals and, once you're kind of out of it, you're out of it. It'd be similar if Dallas was, way on the outside looking in. There's not a lot of young guys trying to prove themselves, where in Chicago, I think you've got a good young core, and then you've got a lot of guys that want to earn contracts, earn extensions. So, I'll actually throw a few bucks on Chicago here, plus 140. Why not?
All right, Minnesota and Florida. Minnesota minus 160 road favorite, 6 the total. Matt, what do you got?
It's a pass game for me as well. I just don't really. I would lean Minnesota. I'm not going to lay minus 160 with them on the road. I think. See, Florida is a perfect example. They're not a team that I feel is out to ruin teams' days. They've had long seasons the last few years. They've won their cups. They're just trying to get to the off season. Deal with some injuries. Maybe have a good long summer, getting healthy and come back. They're going to be a good team. Next year and beyond that. So I think the Wild win this game, but there's just no value play here for me. I could see this game being 5-2. I could see this game being 2-1. But yeah, so it is a pass for me.
San Jose, St. Louis.
I promise this is the last complete pass, but this is another pass game for me. Earlier in the year, this would have been an over game for me. St. Louis has tightened things up a little bit. San Jose is not scoring at will. They've had some over games recently, but they've also had some 2-1 type games. So straight pass.
Yeah, I've got to look. I've got an angle I've got in mind. for that game. I'll mention it later. Colorado, Winnipeg. Colorado -180 road favorites. 6 the total here, Matt.
I have one parlay here, not a same game parlay. I've got Avs money line and over 5 +100.
All right. New Jersey, Nashville, -110 even money, both sides, 6 the total. Spoiler alert, I am riding the New Jersey over train once again tonight here in this game. What are you liking here, Matt?
So I've got over by Fecta in this one. I've got first period and full game over. And then I'm going to take a shot with the Preds money line. New Jersey had a great outing against Dallas. Again, they're more or less playing for exercise at this point. Nashville all of a sudden is on the scene. They need the points. They're at home. It's a good price. It's a pick 'em here. So because New Jersey got a nice win earlier in the week, I think that, maybe this is a game that they sort of maybe they were out on Broadway last night having a few pops, like I guess the Wild and the Florida Panthers were. And of course, the internet is broken that guys wanted to have a few Michelob Ultras the night before a hockey game. Newsflash, they are human and they are buddies with guys on other teams. And, you fly into Florida, you grab dinner and a couple beers, and then
the
you go to morning skate
thing last night down at the Elbow Room. Yeah, I saw that.
Yep. So maybe New Jersey after the big win in Dallas, maybe they flew out Tuesday night, got a good night in Nashville. Maybe they're still feeling that, but this is similar to the Islanders Stars game. I think the Preds need these points more, so I'm going to take a shot since it's basically a pick 'em.
All right. Washington and Utah. Utah -140 home favorite, 6 the total here.
This is a draw for me, a rare Matt Rob draw play. You got East-West. You've got two teams that want points. Although Utah is pretty solidified in that top wild card spot, it's sort of chaos below them and even in the second and third Pacific spot. So there's not a lot of movement for them. They're not going to catch Minnesota, but they definitely don't want to risk dropping from that top seed. I think any team in the NHL would rather play the number one team in the Pacific right now than the number one team in the Central.
All right, good stuff. 3 games left with Matty Rob before he runs Anaheim and Calgary. Anaheim -130 road favorites, 6.5 the total.
Taking a shot with the Ducks here. -130 feels like a good price for me. Obviously, the Flames are as out of it as anybody. And I just think the Ducks want to hold on to that first spot because it's, again, Vegas and Edmonton kind of keep flip-flopping. You've got LA on the heels. The Ducks are in full control of their own destiny and can just kind of remain in that top Pacific spot. I wouldn't, be stoked to play Utah, but I'd rather play Utah than a randomly healthy Edmonton team, a Vegas team with playoff experience that can flip the switch maybe and start playing better hockey. In current form, Utah is the best team of those three, but I think for the Ducks, I think they want to keep that first spot, keep home ice at least through the first 2 rounds.
All right, 2 more left. We've got Edmonton. This is ESPN, by the way, this game. There's an ESPN doubleheader. Minnesota, Florida is the first game. This is the second game. Edmonton, Vegas. Vegas -135. Home favorites, 6.5 the total. Great to see games on ESPN, the big main ESPN network tonight in the NHL. The problem is it's up against the NCAA tournament. So, it'll be interesting to see what rating.
And that's only because they don't have Major League Baseball anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, because NBC's got it now, the Sunday night package. Yes, exactly. So, but at least they got it. At least they're putting it to use, the free time and with the NHL. But Matt, what do you think here? Edmonton, Vegas. I know 2 teams you're not fond of from a Stars fan standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, they both have a lot of struggles going on. They haven't really been top of mind as of recent. So, but it's a same game parlay for me here. 1.5, 5.5. I think we see 2 goals in the first. I think we see 6 goals in the game. I think it was like +104, something like that when I put it in. So yeah, I'll be on the same game parlay on this one.
And last game, Los Angeles Kings, Vancouver Canucks. And as we saw the other night with LA losing in a shootout to Calgary, don't take anything for granted that LA can get 2 points against the weak links of the league right now. They're laying -170 here tonight on the road in Van City, 5.5 the total.
Yeah, I really want to trust LA. I definitely don't at -170, but similar to the Avs game, I threw in a LA and over 5.5 over 5, 5 even parlay at plus 104. If this game stops at 5, you get like half your money. You basically, get your money back because you'd be getting minus 170 odds there. But yeah, it's plus 104. Give me a shot with LA and over 5. I think, I don't think it is a massive scoring game, but if Vancouver can get 1 or 2 goals, then I think we see over 5 goals in this one.
I tend to agree.
I won't be watching this game if anyone's asking.
I might be, because then it's the end of the night. We'll only have the one baseball game, and there'll be the couple tournament games in the basketball, and I might, but I'll be focusing hockey wise probably more on Edmonton, Vegas. I don't disagree with that. All right, bargain bin special of the night from Matt Robinson here. What do you got for us for that?
So I'm going to go with 2 bargain bins, mainly because I've been, pretty hot with bargain bins. Unfortunately, Tuesday had the audio issues, so I wasn't able to throw out any plays. I think the previous show I had to miss the last couple to jump into a meeting. So got 2 plays tonight. We know that I took the Islanders on the money line, but that doesn't mean I don't have 1 Stars bargain bin here. I saw that the Stars decided to go ahead and healthy scratch. Sorry, I had my notes right here. They're going to healthy scratch. Why am I drawing a blank?
Welcome to my world. That happens to me.
I'm drawing a blank on names here. They just traded for him from Nashville.
For the Stars? Yeah.
Yeah.
Even I'm struggling here. What the fuck? Okay, Nashville. Bunting.
Yeah, it's because he hasn't done
Michael Bunting. Yep.
much of anything. To me, he's been sort of a bargain Mason Marchman, less effective, still, gets embellishment penalties. So,
and he may be even more reckless than Mason Marchman.
Yeah, he's drawn a couple penalties. But anyway, sorry for the delay. With Bunting out, because Bunting has been getting some random shifts with Ben and Duchesne, they have not looked as good as they did, during that 17 games without a regulation loss. He's back with Duchesne and Ben, and with Bunting out of the lineup, I feel confident he'll play every shift or regular shifts with that line. Give me Sam Steele, Old Faithful, anytime goal tonight, plus 400. That line struggled a lot during these 3 games. They didn't really do a whole lot until the 3rd period against New Jersey. And I think given them that chemistry back, I think, all the focus is on Wyatt and Robo right now. I think Sammy Steele bingos tonight in New York. So that'll be bargain bin number 1. Bargain bin number 2, we're going to go out to that LA Vancouver game. You've got the worst penalty kill in the league statistically, middle of the pack team in Vancouver as far as taking penalties. They're averaging just over 8 minutes a game. And you've got a guy that's on the first power play, and a power play point is plus 340. Alex Laferriere from the LA Kings. I think he gets on the board tonight in some fashion on the power play. I think if LA is going to win that game, continue to get points against bad teams like they need to. They haven't exactly shown that, but they need to. I think Alex Laferriere, whether it's a second assist or, burying a gritty goal, I think he gets a power play point tonight. You can find that plus 340 on Caesars.
Go. Power play point, Laferriere, and goal for Sam Steele for 2 bargain bin specials for Matt. All right, best bet before Matt gets on out of here. What do you got for best bet?
Yeah, for best bet, I'm going to keep it simple. It's one of the best teams in the league. They sort of were skidding there for a bit, but they're at home against a team that I think is just kind of mailing it in. Is sort of accepted. They're probably not going to get into that final Western Conference wildcard spot. Give me the Tampa Bay Lightning on the puck line, minus 1.5. You can get that for minus 115. Tampa's historically over the last, 6 or 8 years since they've been good. They're great at home. Seattle, far from home, could say as far away from home as they can get. I think Tampa Bay rolls Seattle tonight. So give me Tampa Bay on the puck line, minus 1.5. That'll be my best bet.
There you go. A little Tampa Bay Lightning puck line for Matt Robinson with his best bet. All right, Matt, get to work. You got a meeting.
Yep. We'll see you guys. Time. Good luck tonight and have a great, great card. Cheers.
You too, Matt. Good luck. All right, there he is, Matt Robinson, working two. No, this isn't a job for him, but you know what I mean. Doing multiple things here on this afternoon, on this Thursday. But like I said, great stuff from him as always. Let's roll on, Alex and I, with our thoughts on the rest of the slate. We got to roll back to Minnesota and Florida. We've got Minnesota minus 160 road favorites, 6 the total in this one. Florida's becoming a dicey team for me to handicap. It really is. You know, they are beaten up. They got lots of injury. I don't want to take Florida. I still think with all these injuries, I have a hard time putting money on the Panthers right now. But, you know, Seattle was miserable for much of that game. Florida, you know, still played decently, good effort, and they found a way to win and beat a team that needed the points. Well, Minnesota, I don't think they need the points because they're probably locked into third in the Central, but you're still playing for something here if you're Minnesota. But Florida found a way to win against Seattle. But man, I mean, look at the players out. I mean, can they really do it again against a better team like the Minnesota Wild with Reinhart day-to-day, Balinskis, Greer serving his suspension, Lundell's out, Samoskevich is out, Marchand's out, Mikola's out. I mean, they're just a mash unit, this Florida team. So, but at the same time, I know the moment I hit confirm and submit on a bet against them, watch them win here tonight against Minnesota. So I think the draw could be worth a look here in this game. It's not my favorite draw on the board, but I think I'll get there with it. Florida went to a shootout against Seattle. The game in Minnesota back in January went to overtime, 4-3. And you talk about these patterns with draws, Alex. I know you've mentioned them before. Let me throw one out at you with Minnesota. They've gone alternating draws and regulation results lately. The last 5 Minnesota games, no draw against Toronto, draw against Chicago, no draw in the rematch against Chicago, draw against Dallas, no draw last game against Tampa Bay. If the pattern holds true to form, the recent pattern, it's a draw night potentially for the Minnesota Wild. So I'll get in on the draw. Probably will look at a live over 5.5. I think we could see goals, but I want the 5.5. Alex, what do you think? Minnesota, Florida.
Yeah, I grab a little piece of that draw based on that trend in history. It's not one of my favorites, mainly because this needs to be a game where the Wild need to get a giant win, in my opinion. We talk about Dallas, how, okay, Dallas is kind of stuck in their spot. It's not the worst thing in the world if they, you know, lose games down the stretch. But for Minnesota, and when you look at your history of playing in the first round, and when you look at your history of just, like I said, you played so well early in this year and now you've been slumping. This is a game you need to put the screws to, which still it's a shell of the championship team, right? This is still the defending Stanley Cup champions of the Florida Panthers, even though half their roster's gone and their season's all but over. If you're the Wild, you need to build some confidence. This is a win where you need to build off of something, in my opinion. This should not be a draw. This should be a 5-2, 6-2 Minnesota game. But because it is Minnesota, and because we've seen them struggle in games where it should be pretty much a layup or a cakewalk for them, I will take a piece of that draw. Plus 324 over at BetOnline.
I like what Jonathan says. They'll play guilty because they were caught on the – and they should know that. I mean, they should know Elbow Room's got public cameras all over that place. It's been common knowledge for years that world-famous Elbow Room in Fort Lauderdale – they have the place with cameras. People can watch a live stream of all the different places in that bar at all times. So, you know, if they didn't want to get seen, they probably shouldn't have gone there. They should have went somewhere else. So, but nevertheless, where else are you going to go? I mean, it is the favorite party spot apparently down there in that Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. But to me, it's no big deal. I mean, Florida's not making the playoffs. You know, it's not like this is the most desperate time for points for Minnesota. They're secure in a playoff spot. It's a matter of, you know, just making sure you finish in the Central.
I have no problem personally whenever I hear about a team going out, partying, having a few drinks, especially when you're talking about a team like Minnesota. God, you've been up here in this fucking cold and miserable weather all year, and you get down there to Fort Lauderdale and have a few pops, but be professional enough to get on the ice and beat a team that you're supposed to beat. This is a Florida team, like I said. This ain't your regular Panther. You wouldn't be doing this if we were talking about the Panthers team that has looked like the Panthers team that has won the East 3 years in a row either. You know what I'm saying? If you were really preparing for one of the top tier teams in the East, then yeah, you probably would have stayed in the hotel for a little bit. But okay, fine. You go out, have a few drinks, you know, loosen up a bit. But now you got to show up and be professional and beat a team that you should certainly put the screws to. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, no question. It is that. That's I agree. It'll be interesting to see if Minnesota can have that mindset. You know what? I mentioned I'm waiting for a live over. I am going to wait for a live over, but I am going to dabble just small on the overs. There is some sixes out there at -120. I will get in on because I'm looking at Tarasov. Tarasov's in tonight, starting for Florida, and his numbers are horrific in the last 2 starts. He's given up 10 goals in the last 2 starts combined. And I can't say I'm enamored with Volstead lately. And this has been months of Volstead not being like he was when he was just playing out of his mind good for that period of time earlier this season. Yep.
But we have to remember too that's a rookie goaltender
Yeah.
who had a hot start, a crazy hot start, and has now tapered off. It's not that he's now all of a sudden a bum. No, we're just seeing the regression from a guy who was literally having a almost MVP type start to his career. So let's pump the brakes on. I know everybody's talking about Walter, you got to package him in a deal. I still think that would be insane for Guerin to do. But like I said, certainly would struggle. Is this a game where you'd maybe look at goal in the first 5 minutes as insulation rather than grabbing the 6?
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, maybe a little goal for, and you always get good plus money on that. FanDuel
plus 174 at FanDuel. Yeah, that's what I think. I might end up grabbing a little piece of that and tailing into that, leading into a possible 5.5.
Yeah, and this is ESPN, by the way, first of a doubleheader on ESPN, and this is that first game, Minnesota, Florida. I believe we got Wischusen doing this one. Yes, it is with Ray Ferraro. So that's your ESPN game here tonight. Vladimir Tarasenko is my favorite prop for Minnesota. Back-to-back games with a goal. He's a former Panther. Let's not forget that. He did spend some time with Florida. So I like Tarasenko here tonight as far as a goal prop. Bobby Brink for Minnesota, worth a look. I think from a value standpoint for Florida, when you look at the lineup with all the injuries, you've got Boquist, Rodriguez, and Kuhlman, Lusterinen on a line together. They might be worth a look. I don't even hate Vinny Hinostroza. This guy's come into the lineup for Florida, and he's produced a little bit. So those are some props on the Panthers side of things. All right, San Jose, St. Louis. St. Louis -130, home favorite, 6 the total in this game. I'm worried that it's just, San Jose hemorrhaging right now, collapsing. I'm certainly not trusting them for a full game. What I did bet here, and I think I hinted at this, right? A unique angle. You talk about the first 5 minutes that you like in that Florida-Minnesota game, Alex, and that's obviously a little unique type of bet, something we don't mention every day on the show. This is my unique type of bet here for this game, San Jose, St. Louis. Give me the San Jose Sharks to score a goal in the first 10 minutes, plus 185 here tonight at Bet365. To score a goal in the first 10 minutes. I'm not taking them to score a goal in the first period because the price sucks. It's too expensive. It's -165. Although I might wait for that price to drop and bet it during the period. But if it doesn't happen for San Jose in the first period tonight to show some balls, show some guts, show some, hey, we're not out of this thing yet, rally together and have a big push early in this game. If it doesn't happen in the first 20 minutes tonight, it's not happening at all. That's the way I see it. So I'm taking a shot with this. Makes sense. I like the value. Plus 185. San Jose to score a goal in the first 10 minutes. That's my only bet here that I really like pregame. Alex, what do you think here? San Jose, St. Louis.
That makes total sense, and I'll tell you on that. Like I said, that you get a better price too with 365. I'm seeing plus 170 with that prop over at Bet Online, but that makes total sense. And this is a spot where even if San Jose scores, you cash that play, but they don't look like they have really, the momentum. If the momentum's on St. Louis' side, but let's say Blues take a dumb penalty, Sharks capitalize on that. I would be looking at maybe grabbing St. Louis live in game because I still think, even with that thought process, and that's a great point. We always talk about this. Teams have to show some fight with their backs against the wall in certain points. And when we break things down in the periods, and for you're breaking it down in the half of a period. Okay, if they don't show life in 10 minutes, they may not show any life. They still could fizzle out here if they have a good first period. That would not shock me one bit. So I will tell you on that. Sharks to score a goal in the first 10 minutes, but that will open the door potentially if St. Louis is playing better. If they look like the better team despite going down a goal, that would open the door for the Blues live on the money line.
Yeah, no question. And like I said, this is definitely makes sense to me, and especially with how much of a debacle that first period turned into the other night against Nashville for like they were out of the game after the first period. That's how bad it was. So, like I said, if you're gonna show that, hey, We're not dead yet. We still think we can do this if we make a run and if we start playing some winning hockey. If it's got to show up in the first period. If it doesn't show up tonight in the first period, it will not show up at all, and you'll lose again. It's really that simple. So I think that's a good situational look, and I like the price, plus 185. So I like it. San Jose first goal in the first 10 minutes for the San Jose Sharks at plus 185. As far as goal props here for this game tonight, we do want to mention Kyrou, of course, has scored in back-to-back games for St. Louis. I think for San Jose, Chernyshov, there was some worry about him from an injury standpoint the other night, but he's back in the lineup, and it looks like with Celebrini and Smith again, so there is value with Chernyshov right now. Colin Graf with Wenberg and Eklund on the second line. Graf might be worth a look here in this one tonight as well. I don't know exactly. I got to look it up, but I'm pretty sure Colin Graf did score earlier this season against the Blues. Let me just see if I can confirm that here with the head-to-head numbers for Colin Graf. No, he did not. I must be thinking of him against another team. Jimmy Snuggerud has scored against San Jose before, and he scored last game plus 160, or plus 260 rather, for Jimmy Snuggerud. So he'd be the Blues goal prop that I'd probably be most interested in here in this one. And by the way, ask about me. Yaroslav is back in net here for San Jose tonight. It is Yaroslav Askarov, his first start in a while, and Joel Hofer confirmed for St. Louis. Colorado, Winnipeg, Colorado minus 180, road favorites, 6 the total. Great win for the Jets against Vegas the other night, and they're still in it. They're not totally dead yet, the Winnipeg Jets, crazy as it is to say. But, with the fact that Nashville keeps on picking up 2 points is not a good sign for the Winnipeg Jets. I think they're still falling short, but they're going to keep on believing until they're officially out. So will you see a good effort here? We'll see. I remember the last time Colorado played in Winnipeg, and it was a dud. They were awful. They were flat as a pancake, but they might remember that and say, last time we were here, we sucked. And maybe they play better. And they looked damn impressive against Pittsburgh the other night, putting the boots to the Pittsburgh Penguins. So this is a real tough handicap for me when it's all said and done. Not a whole lot that I feel. This is a live game if I get involved. Alex, what do you think? Colorado, Winnipeg.
Yeah, but big card. This game's a pass for me. But like you said, it's a Jets are still breathing. They're on life support. But this could be one of those games where, like I said, Colorado, if they feel like, hey, we want to come out here and score 5 goals and win this one and dominate all 60 minutes, they could easily do that. Would not shock me one bit. So, like I said, if something pops up live, maybe jump in on it. But pregame pass for me.
Mackenzie Blackwood in for Colorado tonight, and Connor Hellebuck here for the Winnipeg Jets. Yeah, that's the difference, too. They didn't have the plane issues and the delays that they did then. That was an early start game, too. That was an afternoon game in Winnipeg, and they looked bad in that game. So I wouldn't be interested in Winnipeg, put it that way. I mean, I don't want to lay this with Colorado, but I have a feeling Colorado still can win this game. Probably will, but I just don't like the price. Ross Colton, I like the price with him to score a goal, plus 550, and he scored in back-to-back games for the Colorado Avalanche. So give me Ross Colton, a goal prop here for the Avs tonight in this game. Great value with the goal streak ongoing for him. Entering this game, Landeskog, there's probably still some value. Looks like Arturi Lehkonen back for the Colorado Avalanche as well, which is big news. They've obviously missed him. Iafallo, Velarde, Perfetti, probably the goal prop candidates of interest for me on the Winnipeg side. All right, New Jersey, Nashville, even money, minus 110, both sides, 6 the total. Yeah, useless Onanen, although I can't call him that now. He's playing better right now the last few starts. But it will be Justus Onanen here in net for Nashville. I believe Jacob Markstrom will get the start for New Jersey, although you never know, right? Because it was Jake Allen who was in net for the upset victory against Dallas the other night. So maybe Sheldon Keefe rolls back to Jake Allen again. But at the moment, projections show Jacob Markstrom.
Markstrom's confirmed.
Markstrom confirmed. Okay, yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking because he's been alternating between the two. Arseny Griciuk is out, so they will miss his offense. He'd been playing well, but still, Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, Connor Brown, Timo Meyer's been starting to get it going. They've certainly been scoring goals in bunches. My favorite bet is the over here for sure. I mean, I'm riding it with New Jersey. It's been a strong over run, 7-2-1 to the over their last 10 games. Nashville, 11 of their last 13 home games have had at least 6 goals. 11 of their last 13 home games have had at least 6 goals. And with this total being 6, I kind of think it's going to be a minimum push here in this game. So I like over 6, Devils, Predators. I'm going to take Nashville, though, at this price. I don't trust New Jersey off a win like that. This New Jersey team is where they are for a reason. Stringing good wins and performances together has been hard for them. And this feels like a cheap price with a just smoking Nashville team right now, the way they're going. So, I'm a little leery with the price being what it is, that it's scary how cheap it is right now with Nashville. But I'm still going to take it. Nashville minus 110, but the over is what I like most. Alex, what do you think here? Devils, Preds.
I have the over trifecta in this game. I got the first period over 1.5 minus 128. Both teams are scoring the first period plus 164, and that over 6 at minus 120. And I did take a little sprinkle with the draw. We have seen some overtime history with these two teams, and both teams, they said more so Nashville needing the points. But at plus 330, I thought that was a worthy bet as well. So over trifecta and the draw for me.
All right, there we go. Excellent. As far as I'm riding Jesper Bratt again, how can you not? 4 straight games with a goal now for him. You're still getting, pretty solid price, plus 265. Not bargain bin worthy anymore. Stamkos with 3 straight with a goal. Timo Meier heating up for the Devils. Connor Brown's worth a look. He scored in 3 of the last 5 games, plus 330 to find the back of the net. Matthew Wood is good. Scored last game for Nashville. I'm always interested in him for a goal prop. So some good goal prop looks there in that game. Washington, Utah. Utah minus 140 home favorites. 6 the total. Washington, that was a rough loss for them when they can ill afford it against St. Louis the other night. Blanked by the Blues in that loss to the St. Louis Blues. So looking to bounce back. Washington here tonight in this matchup against the Utah Mammoth. It is confirmed. Vitek Vanacek, by the way, getting the start in Utah, which is very interesting. It was not a good night for Vejmelka at all against Edmonton. So we'll see if he responds with a better performance. If turning to Vanacek, rather, who has actually been solid the last couple times we've seen him, can help Utah bounce back from a 5-2 loss. Back-to-back losses for Washington. They're not making the playoffs in my mind. I mean, how much do they believe they can still make a push and get in at this point? You got to ask them. I'm not in the dressing room. I don't know. You can't ask, but still, I mean, they're 6 points out and they're running out of time. 6 points back of the Ottawa Senators now for that second wild card spot. So I don't want Washington in this spot with Utah off a loss looking to bounce back, but I don't know. Utah is never a team I'm running to lay a price like this with at minus 140. Here in this one. So this is probably one of these games where if Utah's behind, I'll probably take Utah plus money live in game. Maybe a lean to the draw too, but not my favorite draw look. Alex, what do you think here? Washington, Utah.
Yeah, I grabbed a little piece of the draw, and like I said, Vanacek, going up against his old team, that for what that's worth, maybe he has a little bit of a push there. But like I said, both teams needing points. This is a classic draw season, East versus West.
Yeah, there's no argument.
Plus 321 was the price that I grabbed here. It's not one of my favorite draws either, but I have 9 draws on the board tonight. So this is definitely one where it makes sense, just situational.
Yeah. I probably will bet the draw here, but at the same point in time, like I said, this will be one of the lesser amounts of compared to some of the other draws that I have on the board. Vanacek's been good this month. Here in March, he's 2-1-1 with a 1.86 goals against average and 923 save percentage. So he really has had some good numbers here in the month of March. We'll see if he can continue to play well. That's why he's getting this start. I think Andre Tour, and he realizes, hey, Melka's bobbled a little bit here of late. Vanacek's played well. Let's give him the opportunity in net, and he is giving Vanacek that chance. And remember, he's a former Washington Capital. As far as goal props here, give me Lawson Krause again. Back-to-back games with a goal, and he scored in 3 of the last 5 games for the Mammoth, plus 300 right on the button. That's a good goal prop look. I would also maybe consider looking toward Keller, maybe Protas on the Washington side. But yeah, Lawson Krause, my favorite goal prop here in this game tonight by far. All right, Anaheim, Calgary. Anaheim minus 130 road favorites, 6.5 the total. I think, by the way, it's going to be Thompson for Washington, but it hasn't been confirmed as of yet. This game, be careful with this game. We love our Anaheim Ducks. You know that. We've got them to make the playoffs. We've got them over their point total, which is already cashed, by the way. How beautiful is that? The point total is already hit for Anaheim.
Yep.
They're definitely going to make the playoffs. They might even win the Pacific Division. I've got this plus 450 in pocket with them to win the division. But this is a scary game for them. Calgary's played great on this homestand. They keep finding ways to win. The goalie that's starting tonight, Devin Cooley, keeps, giving his team a chance every single night. By the way, Devin Cooley, who's in net tonight, he's one of the best. What a breath of fresh air. You talk about a great listen in a post-game interview and a post-game press conference. Logan Cooley's like top 5 in the league. This guy's a riot to listen to. It's hilarious. He's just a ball of energy. He's cracks jokes. He's very honest about the way things go. Yeah, personality-wise, that's as good as it gets, Devin Cooley. So hats off to him for making post-game player press conferences great again. He has definitely helped do that for the Calgary Flames, no question. And he's played some solid hockey. I never in a million years thought they'd get this out of Devin Cooley this year. There's been times he's outplayed Wolf, believe it or not, for the Calgary Flames. Calgary, 3 of the last 4 have gone past regulation on this homestand. Only the Florida game did not go to overtime. Anaheim, they've won 3 in a row, but they've gone to past regulation 2 of the last 4. We've had 3 straight in this series go past regulation. For some reason, even when Anaheim beats Calgary, Calgary gives them a tough game. They really do. So give me this draw. Give me this over, sneaky over, because I think, with Anaheim, they're going to be able to score. Calgary offensively has been decent on this homestand when you look at it. 3-4-4 in their last 3 games. And Ville Husso is in net, not Lukas Dostal tonight for the Anaheim Ducks. And we saw Husso, I think it was in the game against Buffalo on the weekend. I think he started that game for the Anaheim Ducks, and he struggled in that game the last time we saw Ville Husso in net. So I think this could be a game that can get over 6.5. So I've got that, and I've got the draw here in this one. Alex, what do you think? Ducks, Flames.
Yeah, you mentioned Husso struggling in his last start. It was against Buffalo, and that was a game that went past regulation. Like I said, this definitely makes sense grabbing the draw here. Plus 324 is the price that I found at Bet Online. But I have Ducks winning in overtime or shootout, plus 550 over at FanDuel. I mean, Ducks just need to continue winning. You keep winning, keep getting these points, you take care of business, and like I said, lock up that Pacific Division title, lock up home ice in that first place spot. And you should be able to do that against the Calgary team, even though this is a team that has given you fits. So a little sprinkle in the draw. It's not one of my favorite draws out of the list of draws I have, but I will take that Anaheim to win past regulation at plus 550. It's a good price.
And it is worth noting in those 3 straight head-to-heads between the Ducks and Flames that have gone past regulation, we've seen it in 3 straight. Anaheim won all 3 of those games, by the way. So you might be barking up the right tree with that Anaheim to win in overtime or a shootout. It's happened in 3 straight head-to-head meetings between the Ducks and the Flames. One of my bargain bin specials comes from this game, so I will save that for later on in the show with the bargain bin special of the night. All right, Edmonton, Vegas. This is the second ESPN game on the doubleheader tonight. Vegas minus 135, home favorites, 6.5 the total here in this one. I mean, this is 2 teams that I'm not excited about putting money on right now. We've talked about how Edmonton has had all kinds of problems. No Draisaitl, playing a bit short-handed, issues defensively, issues with goaltending, especially Tristan Jarry in particular. And now I know they won with Tristan Jarry in net against Utah, but come on. They protected that guy like a parent protects their fucking newborn baby. That's what they basically did in that game against Utah. Come on. I've never seen such a tight, conservative defensive shell in eons from this Edmonton Oilers team. But that's exactly how they played against Utah because they're scared shitless. They're shitting bricks every time a puck goes near Tristan Jarry right now. What the hell is going to happen? That it might go in. And let's not kid ourselves. Yeah, he only gave up 2 goals. He only faced 18 shots. So we can't go crazy here talking about, Tristan Jarry's found his form again. No, not at all. Not even in the slightest can we go in that direction. But it will be Connor Ingram tonight, who at least right now I think is a little bit of a cut above Tristan Jarry. That being said, even in Connor Ingram's recent starts, we've seen him give up a few. Not as bad as what we've seen out of Jarry, but we'll see what we get out of him. Aiden Hill's in net for Vegas, and he looked like he was starting to get his game turned around for a little bit until all of a sudden he hit a little bit of a stumble in the last few starts that we've seen him. The Utah game was not pretty for Aiden Hill. I think he had another clunker not long after that. Boy, this is not easy. You know how I feel in a game like this, where I'm not excited about backing either team. Flip a coin, take the dog. Take the dog and pray is what I would say. So if I had to make a lean, I would lean Edmonton ever so slightly. And I can't lay it with Vegas right now. That much I know at minus 135. Cannot do that at this point in time. What did they do? They got that one win against Dallas, and then what did we see last game? They went right back losing again against the Winnipeg Jets. 3-7 in their last 10 games. And other than the Dallas win, the other two victories were Pittsburgh and Chicago. Pittsburgh's all right, but like I said, they got to show they can beat someone of quality. Edmonton's owned them, believe it or not, this year. 2 meetings, and Edmonton won both of them 4-2 and 4-3. We know the playoff success that Edmonton had last year against this Vegas team as well. I'm going to go with the Matty Rob special here. And I don't do that very often, but I'm going to bet 5.5 on its own live. But pregame, I will get in on over 1.5, over 5.5. Matty Rob special, same game parlay. I lean over 6.5 too because I don't trust Hill, or even Ingram's been a little spotty lately. But I'm going to go with a little safer option and the Matty Rob's SGP special here. Over 1.5 first period, over 5.5 full game SGP. Alex, what do you think here? Edmonton, Vegas.
This is a pass for me pregame. Like, this will be the ESPN, the second of the doubleheader. So this is one where I can watch, maybe jump in for something live. But I got nothing pregame on this.
All right, nothing wrong with that. As far as props, Savoy, Roslovic, those guys have stepped up for Edmonton. They're in those spots in the lineup where they're playing with either McDavid or Nuge, who are centering the top 2 lines right now. Podkolzin might be worth a look as well. For the Oilers. The only one I'm really liking here for Vegas as far as a goal prop right now, because it's not like they're an offensive juggernaut right now, is close shave Barbashev, because he's up with Jack Eichel and Mark Stone right now on the top line. And Jonathan, it is worth noting from him in the chat, Dorofeyev, 2 goals in 3 games against Ingram, and Zach Hyman, 6 goals in 8 games against Aiden Hill. So a couple of players that have had success against these respective goalies. All right, last game of this Thursday slate. Los Angeles Kings, Vancouver Canucks. LA -170 road favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. I've been picking on Vancouver with team total overs for the opponent of late and just betting them. I cashed one with Anaheim the other night against Vancouver. I'm a little hesitant with LA, though. This is LA after all. But, one thing we've noted about LA is the fact that we have certainly seen this team step things up and pick things up offensively here of late. And we'll see if that can continue here in this game against the Vancouver Canucks. And we know they played a little quicker, more offensive-minded style of play under DJ Smith since the coaching change. So we're seeing the Kings team total here, 3.5 plus 100. I might sprinkle in it ever so slightly, but I will get in on over 5.5. Over 5.5 here at -130, -135. There are still some books that have 5.5 here. I mean, the one thing I wanted to continue to make sure people are aware of with the Kings games and the overs, and we've been betting a lot of them, not every game's gone over. And last game, of course, against Calgary, stayed under, and it ended 3-2. But there's been very few instances where the Kings have played back-to-back unders since the coaching change. And so usually off and under, they've gone back to the over. And it's been that way the last 6 Kings games, 7. Under against the Islanders, the next game against the Devils went over. Under against the Rangers, the next game against the Flyers went over. Then there was an under against the Sabres, and the next game went over against Utah. And now they're off that under against Calgary. So I think and plus Vancouver's kind of playing overs right now with how they're giving up goals. They've suddenly gone over heavy lately once again, 5-1 for Vancouver to the over in their last 6. So the over 5.5 is what I like most here in this one. Final game, Alex, what do you got here? Kings, Canucks.
With a big card and this being a late game, this will be one that I'll look for live with the over 5.5, try and get plus money. And I think we'll be able to do that. I don't expect goals just right off the rip of this contest. So 5.5, but trying to get closer to that plus money price. That'll be my only play here.
All right, good stuff indeed. This, I'm seeing that God, I don't know if I can do it with Vancouver. I don't know if I fully trust them that much. I mean, they've lost 3 in a row, and they've all been multi-goal losses. But LA has gone past regulation 5 of their last 9, and LA Vancouver head-to-head have gone past regulation in 2 straight.
Yeah,
I'm gonna probably sprinkle. I don't love it. Keep it small. This is probably the lightest draw bet on the board, but there are some parameters. And when the fuck does LA do anything easily, even against a team like Vancouver? So I may have to get involved. A little draw bet.
I'd probably circle it for a live action.
Yeah. See how it goes. You're right. Because maybe LA does blow this thing open, which would be a rarity for them, even against a lesser opponent. But boy, oh boy, there are some draw parameters here with this Kings Canucks game in the late night hours. All right, as far as props for LA Vancouver, Quentin Byfield has scored in back-to-back games. No argument with a goal prop there with him. Drew O'Connor, Marco Rossi, Laferriere. I know Matt mentioned him for a power play point. Those are some props that I'd maybe be looking at as well. But O'Connor and Rossi are the guys that have kind of stepped things up lately for Vancouver. So they might be worth a goal prop look here tonight as well. All right, there you have it. Great Thursday card, big Thursday slate. Shout out to everyone. Hit the like button, wizardsportspicks.com. Make sure you check it out. Again, great time to get on board. We've got MLB opening day. We've obviously got, NCAA tournament resuming tonight with the Sweet 16, NHL and NBA on a daily basis. So check it out. Number one in the NHL and college basketball on the website, wizardsportspicks.com, and of course patreon.com/iceguys, $10 per month. We're close to 400. I think we're at 395, 396. Not that far away from 400 current subscribed Patreons on the Ice Guys Patreon page. So get us to 400. Those of you that haven't tried it out yet, get on board, because we're going to load up the Betcast schedule for Patreon members only in April. We got 4 Patreon exclusive live Betcasts coming in the month of April. It is going to be a blast, a lot of fun. They'll only be accessible to our Patreon members. So get on board to be sure that you can have access to that, to the goalie charts, to the totals charts, and of course, to the daily betting cards, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. And again, your membership goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it going long term. So check it out, $10 per month at patreon.com/iceguys.
And also check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. Today starts 4 days where you can save 20% on all items. You check out at the Ice Guys store, you hit the redeem button to the homepage, add your items to your cart, and 20% will be taken off at checkout. So it's a good weekend. Grab a hoodie, grab a cap, grab something new for yourself or for a loved one, and save 20% off for the next 4 days. That's at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
All right, bargain bin special of the night. Let's see if we can add to it. Matt Robinson, just to recap, he's on Alex Laferriere, power play point for LA, and Sam Steele, goal for Dallas for his 2 bargain bin specials of the night. We got one last night courtesy of Zach Benson for Buffalo. We'll see if we can add to it tonight. Alex, bargain bin special of the night.
I got a pair of them. They're both Blackhawks, and we're going to start with the youngster, Anton Frandel. We're going to go back to the well with him. Look for him to get his first NHL career goal, plus 310, still on the top line, still has this decent value. Like I said, he looked good. He looked comfortable in his first game, so it would not shock me for him to score tonight. Anton Frandel, anytime goal scorer, plus 310. That's my first bargain bin special. My second one, we'll go with Frank Nazar to get 2 points or more, plus 500 at FanDuel. The best price available for that, so look for him to chip in. Of course, he's getting power play time as well. So Frank Nazar, 2 points plus 500. That'll be my second bargain special night.
All right, there we go. Great stuff. Love it for Alex with his 2 bargain bin specials here for this Thursday NHL card. All right, bargain bin special of the night for me. And yes, I am indeed back to having 2 bargain bin specials tonight. One of them, give me Lawson Krause, Utah Mammoth, plus 300. This is a guy that has been on the top line for a while. He scored in back-to-back games and as well 3 of the last 5 games for the Mammoth. Lawson Krause, Utah, plus 300 for my first bargain bin special of the night. My second one, and I mentioned earlier that it was going to come from the Anaheim-Calgary game. He's heating up. He's a streaky Finn, and when he's got it rolling, you don't ask, you don't question it, you bet it. And I'm talking about Mikael Granlund for the Anaheim Ducks. 3 straight games with a goal for him entering this Thursday game against Calgary. And Mikael Granlund, you can find him at plus 330 to find the back of the net here tonight. So Lawson Krause, Utah, plus 300, and Mikael Granlund for Anaheim, plus 330 for my 2 bargain bin specials of the night for this Thursday NHL card. All right, best bets here for this massive Thursday night slate. Alex, we'll start with you. What do you got for best bet?
I think it's going to be a lot of close, tight hockey, a lot of draw season hockey coming through. So we're going to go with the best of that bunch, and I think that is Columbus, Montreal. Draw plus 340 over at Caesars. That is my best bet for tonight.
All right, Jackets, Habs, draw for Alex for best bet. I'm going to rock with another jersey over. These have been good. I like it tonight against Nashville. It's been a great overrun, 7-2-1 for the Devils in their last 10. How about Nashville? 11 of their last 13 games at home have had at least 6 goals, and I think that continues tonight. So New Jersey, Nashville, over 6, minus 120, the best price out there for my best bet here for this Thursday NHL card. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate it very much. Big Thursday night slate. Looking forward to it. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Thursday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will see you again Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern for another edition of the Ice Guys.